3 long days, some I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Welcome to Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, a part of the Pull Tab Sports family. I'm Bobby Finn, born and bred on the east side of St. Paul, where everybody looks out for each other, work hard, and no BS. And that's what you're going to get on this podcast. Along with me today, my friend and colleague, co-host, Tom Lord. How are you, Tommy?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Bobby. Excited to be here. Today we're going to do a couple new segments. It's going to be cool. Try a few things out, and we got a really fun guest.
Really fun guest, yeah. Met you about a couple weeks ago, not even, right?
Yeah, it feels
met you
like
at
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. Met him at Herbeck's.
Feels like a lifetime.
Having a couple of cocktails, and I'm like, hey, you're pretty cool. You need to be on my podcast. Let's go. So Brian Karalus.
Karalus sounds too weak.
Yeah.
Karalus. No one gets it right, so it's fine. No one gets it right.
You know, being from St. Paul, go figure. I need to know a really good criminal defense lawyer, right? So Brian, he has a law firm, Karalus Law. Check him out if you're in trouble. And welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My St. Paul friends all call me the K-Train, if that's easier.
The K-Train?
Yeah, they say K-Train. I got a bunch of nicknames, but my gambling nickname's Big Dick Willie. My old school St. Paul name's K-Train. Otherwise, I'm Brian.
Otherwise, Brian.
So Brian's kind of a fellow East Sider, right?
Yeah.
Like North St. Paul. Is that where we grew up?
Yeah, I'm close.
Yeah.
Maplewood.
Yeah,
Grew up in
Maplewood.
the Maplewood.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because East Side, there are borders, and by proxy, there are people that want to be East Siders.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, I'll take him as East Sider because he will help me if I ever need it, for sure.
I think where I grew up, I was over by the Maplewood Mall. We were a little soft over there. So we weren't as hardcore.
They ain't any soft anymore out there.
I don't think I can take that the East Sider moniker. I wish I could. I just feel like I'd be stealing it.
You ever represent any East Siders over there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've represented everybody you can imagine.
Well, it's probably a lot of East Siders because there are a lot of troublemakers.
You name a location in the metro area or the state of Minnesota or western Wisconsin, I've represented them, believe me. Every county, every city you can imagine.
Right. Are the East Siders the hardest to represent because they're such goons and thugs?
Not really. I mean, I think everyone's somewhat similar. It's you can go from this area to this area, but no, they're all the same people. There's good people, there's bad people, there's people in between, and there's a lot of people in the wrong place, the wrong time. They look like they did something, so it's hard to judge them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, though, on a scale, yeah, the East Siders are probably the shittiest people I've ever met in my entire life. That's a joke. Just joking around. I understand this East Side pod. I'm joking around.
That's good.
Fucking with you.
How'd you get into being a lawyer? How'd you get into law? What was your stance?
Well, as a child, I grew up watching LA Law in the 80s, and the first memory I have was like Arnie Becker was this lawyer. I didn't want to do divorce law. I was a divorce lawyer on LA Law, but he's kind of a cool dude. He drove a Porsche and he like bang hot chicks. Can I say that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He'd bang hot chicks and he just seemed fun. He's in court. Like, God, as a 10 or 11-year-old, I was like, Mom, I want to do that.
Hopefully it was a lawyer seat.
I want to do that. That started. And then I was a kid that read a lot. I read the John Grisham books as a youngster. I'm like, I just love the mysteries and the legal stuff. And, I was a kid that was in those high potential classes, like doctor, lawyer. And I'm like, well, if you're a doctor, I'm like, you wear that white lab coat and then you have all these people coming in that have diseases and they're sickly and stuff like that. I didn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't banging the hot girls.
Yeah, lawyers. That's where you got the chicks.
Law. It's like you're in a suit and it's cool and you're fighting. It's like sports. You're in a courtroom. It's like you against the other side. It just seemed much more appealing. That's how it started. And then, now it's, I love it.
Now you're banging hot chicks in the court fighting.
Yeah, something like that.
There's not many times that happened where I wasn't fast enough or sly enough to not see the cherry lights flying behind me.
Yeah. Your knuckles never tried to
Except
sue anybody
the
because of
only
how
time-
attacked they were?
The only time that happened was by accident when I was a freshman in high school, and I was waiting in between lunch for the bell to ring, and this kid came up and grabbed me by the throat and threw me against the wall, and I pushed him back, and I swung, and I never, ever swing with my left, ever. I swung with my left, and I hit the kid, and I grazed him in the nose. A teacher was coming to break it up at the same time, hit him right in the mouth. He went down. He lost all of his teeth. He had a root canal, his mouth wired shut, all this crazy-ass shit. The kid's nose was bleeding, by the way, so the cops came in, and they were like, 2 guys with 1 punch, huh? My mom obviously wasn't too happy about this because she's sitting right there, but I'm like, holy shit, what is going to happen now, right? This is 2 weeks into high school. I promised my mom I was going to do the right thing.
This was 2 weeks ago, by the way.
It happens.
At the Dubliner.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, right. No, it was, that's the only time when it came to doing something like that I got caught.
Right.
Right. But no, it was great.
So, Bobby's been in a few situations, obviously. Maybe let's talk about a few, and you could say, maybe you say what you think you should have done, and Brian can actually probably give you a more correct answer. So,
Always punch him in the face first.
so
Don't give him any time, punch him in the face. Just kidding.
how about this story?
Because you can't argue self-defense. You can't be the first aggressor. You can never be the initial aggressor.
Okay.
Unless you can, in court, you can show that in that tiny little second, you had no ability to retreat. That's the key in self-defense. Can you retreat or not? Because you have a duty to retreat. Unless you're in your own home, you have a duty to retreat. You can punch anybody you want and you'll be charged, as you probably should be, unless it's in self-defense.
Okay.
You're defending yourself or defending others, but it has to be immediate. If it's in your own home, you have no duty to retreat. If you're outside your home, if you can exit the situation, this is what the state always argues every time. And believe me, these prosecutors, these are weasels. These are lifetime government weasels. They will do everything to put the screws to you on these cases. They're not interested in justice. They have no interest in should we prosecute this or not? They have no interest. They will put the screws to you if someone's injured. And often the person that's injured started the fight. They started the fight. They just happened to lose it. And I can tell a story in a little bit. I'll hold my tongue for a second.
Okay.
No, you have a duty to retreat before you can use reasonable force to defend yourself or other people. And that's a tough thing. That's what juries decide every day. You can't. You got to walk away.
Same with bar fights. If you get in a bar fight,
You got to walk away.
Okay.
You have to walk away. If you have a chance to walk away, you have to walk away before you use force.
God, I had trouble with that. I mean, I would never, ever start them, but God, I loved them. When I was seriously 15 to 22, bring it. God, I would just be like, he's hungry. Let's go. Somebody's getting it.
This is what I wanted. This is the anecdote I wanted to add because we just met recently. We talked about this fighting stuff because I'm not a big fighter, partly because if I was in a fight, I would probably lose. That's a big part of it. But also, we were talking about it, and Bobby was explaining to me how he never would start something. And I believe him in a second. Never, ever would start a fight. He was defending his friends. He was defending somebody else. And yeah, that is absolutely noble. But a lot of times, those are the people that get in trouble. Because, again, back to the prosecution of the state, they don't see it that way. You got witnesses, people are drunk, someone gets seriously hurt. There's an outcry, and we have to prosecute. So a lot of times, the person like a Bobby doing what I think most of us would agree is the right thing, defending your friends and beating the piss out of this motherfucker, is not the way the government looks at it. If someone's seriously injured, they don't care. They just look at the injury. It's political. It's bullshit. But we had this conversation, and I was trying to explain to him, and he said to me, he goes, never start a fight. Always defending people, and I believe him. And I was talking to a friend that knows him, and the first word out of his mouth was, Bobby Finn, he goes, he finished a lot of fights. Never started them, but he finished a lot of fights.
Yeah, he's a
I'm
good.
not rich enough, but if I ever need a bodyguard, I know who I'm hiring. That's all I'm saying.
You don't need to be rich.
All right, let's ask a couple questions. So Bobby's got a car. He's in high school, and the transmission doesn't work forward, but it does work backwards. So he drives the car backwards all the way home down. Where were you on? Beam Avenue.
Actually, I was on White Bear, and then I turned on Upper Afton.
Gets pulled over by the cops. Bobby, what would you do in that situation?
Well, the cops were right there, and he knew us, so there's not much I could do.
You just
just like, hey, Mr. Masenzik, how are you?
Brian, is that what you would suggest doing if you drove a car backwards home for a mile?
I would offer to give him a hand job and just call it a night and just listen, dude, whatever you want, man, just let me off here.
Perfect legal advice.
Yeah, quick one, not a long one, not like an Asian massage parlor hand job, like just a 3-minute hand job.
Just a short one. Okay. Good to know. All right, you're in an airport. Bobby's in an airport. He's got a backpack, and Bobby's not a big dope smoker, but next thing you know, the dogs are on his bag and smell it on there. You must have grabbed the wrong backpack. What do you say, Bobby?
These aren't my bags.
Not my bag, baby. Brian, what do you say?
That's a tough one. It's in the backpack that's on your body.
Yep.
So you'd have to argue that somebody else had put them in there and you're carrying someone else's backpack. I'd come out swinging and run. Otherwise, I think you're fucked.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. You're not going with they're not mine. You're at especially the airport. I think you just start swinging. You get out of there.
Then figure it out later.
Yeah.
Like
Call me.
Yep.
And hide at a neighbor's house or family friend or something.
Hide in a boat. I just watched the Boston marathon thing. Hide in a boat.
It out.
Yep. I was going to ask if you come across an aggressive sports dad like a hockey arena, and they start mouthing off, and you start mouthing off, and it comes
punch
to
him in the
fists.
face for sure.
Punch him in the face, but you got to retreat first if you can.
I'm kidding. Don't punch him.
Well, it's close.
No, absolutely
walk
not.
away.
There's been many times.
Never.
But if they're seriously though, if they're talking shit about kids on the ice and just being an absolute jack off, I want a piece of you. I mean, I can't take dumb people.
No.
Well, that's a good thing I have your number.
Don't do it.
Well,
Don't.
No, here's where power comes. The power is in the you gotta withhold that anger and rage.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that person's a jackass. Let them continue to be the jackass. The more attention you pay to the jackass, they actually get empowered. That's what they're looking for. They're mad. Their wife's probably cheating on them, or they're an alcoholic or a drug addict, or they're just miserable human beings. Who knows what it is? That's not no healthy person acts that way. So if you give them anything, you're actually feeding into exactly what they're looking for.
But that's kind of what I want at the end of the day.
No, because you'll be in jail. And
well, I know,
pay
but
me a lot of money.
I will
You know what
defend
you say?
myself.
I'm
and
going to
say,
go the other direction.
You go out there, practice falling down, and then I'm going to come out.
That's what I always use. He can actually back it up. I can't. But Mike Ditka. That's a Ditka line.
That's a Ditka.
Go outside, roll around the parking lot, and practice for a while. I'll meet you outside. No, I would. My advice would be definitely don't hit someone. I'm joking around. My advice would be if it's really bothering you versus who cares, go talk to the person. Seriously, there's power in going up to the person and say, hey, dude, you gotta chill out, man. What's your name? Introduce yourself, get to know them, show them compassion, show them kindness. I'm serious about this. Knowing that you can beat the shit out of them. Show them some compassion and kindness. Get to know them and tell them to just chill out. Hey, listen, dude, I understand, brother. But, a lot of people don't like this stuff. Now, if they're like erratic, obviously that can go a different direction. But sometimes these people just need someone to talk to.
No, I agree. Sometimes that's my thing. I'll go sit down.
Don't even threaten
But
them.
no, I don't. Sometimes I'll go sit right next to somebody and say, dude, what's up? What's the problem today? Having a bad day? Just try to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I've talked my way out of 80% more fights than I've got into.
They're never worth it.
No, I don't want to do it. Don't get me wrong. It was fun when it happened.
But there's this power in if you can talk to humans and bring them down to a different level to relax them, it's never fucking worth it.
Oh, God.
They're just angry about something else anyway. It's never about
hard.
the game.
But it's hard, right? I mean, you were born in North St. Paul. I was born in St. Paul, and I grew up in the shitty ass part of East Side, right? So Payne Avenue, the first time like I was in a bar, I just seen crazy ass fights, and like, I mean, it was crazy.
It's learned for sure.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So
learned behavior.
yes, it's learned behavior for sure. But
Are you saying that's different than if you grew up in like Wyzetta or Edina?
Oh no, that's learned behavior for sure too.
No, but it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the people that act a little pretentious or arrogant, they're learning that. It's all learned. We're organisms. All this is learned. The question is, you want to join in with this? Or do you want to go, you know what? I'm going to try to stop this bullshit. And be like, hey, I can stop this guy from getting, not kicked out, or someone's going to knock him out.
Yeah.
I think that's my advice.
All right. I like it.
Well,
Let's take this chance real quick to talk about it's getting warm out. Jimmy's Salad Dressings and Dips has coleslaw, and it's delicious. And it's they got that slaw sauce. Yeah, it's definitely slaw season, so check it out. They got original pineapple, fat-free. It goes well with burgers. It goes well with chicken sandwiches. You put it right on top. It's got that difference between the hot stuff and the cold stuff. Check it out at Cub or Hy-Vee. That's Jimmy's Salad Dressings and Dips. And like Bobby always says, don't you be messing
with the dressing.
So check it out. I also want to get into one other thing with you, Mr. Attorney Friend.
Can I just say this though?
Oh yeah.
That stuff on a chicken sandwich. I cook. I have a restaurant in my house. I'm not kidding you. I won't say the name on the air. There's a waiting list. But that stuff you're selling, what's it called?
Jimmy's.
I've had that.
Jimmy's coleslaw dressing.
I've had Jimmy's dressing, Jimmy's coleslaw on a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, especially poolside when I have some people over. Usually ladies, but could be some guys too. That is the best stuff. Go out and get that right now.
I agree. I dig it. All right, so let's ask a couple questions. There's a lot of famous trials always going on. We've got a famous attorney here with us in the studio today. Tell us what your thoughts are. Maybe we can do a quick rundown. Obviously, I don't know what it is. Like the more time goes on, the more famous, crazy cases happen. Starting with OJ, of course. OJ, what do you think?
Not guilty.
Oh,
just kidding.
Just
kidding.
No, he highly, highly likely committed the murders. But what people don't understand is this, because that's the most famous question I get at cocktail parties. Like, what do you think about OJ? I'm like, yeah, he did it. Well, what do you think about the verdict? The verdict was just. The verdict was absolutely correct. The not guilty verdict was absolutely right. And people don't understand that. And the media, our schools, or even, if you want to go to the parents, people do a really poor job of educating kids on the law and what the law means and how important it is. If you can't convince those 12 jurors that someone committed that crime, whether it's murder, theft, drugs, assault, whatever it is, beyond a reasonable doubt, they should have quit. And they didn't convince those 12 jurors. And so it's always a just verdict. It's always a just verdict. If the state can't convince them, it's always a just verdict. And people go, well, how can you say that if you think he did it? Because they didn't convince those 12 people. There's laws. The laws are not about did they do it or not. Everyone thinks it's about did they do it or not. Like Dateline NBC, dun, dun, dun. When we get back, you're going to figure out if Uncle John was really where he was. Like, it's stupid. Like, no, in a courtroom, they have a burden of proof. And it's not about OJ. It's about us. I don't know about you guys. It's not about us. It's not about, like, did you commit the crime? It's about if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, which innocent people are all the time, it looks like they did it. Can you imagine anything worse than being innocent and locked up in a cage for something you didn't do? Can you guys imagine anything worse?
Brutal.
You're sitting in jail going, I didn't do this. And the public's like, oh, yeah, you did. Like, no. A lot of innocent people are charged with crimes they didn't do. Now, we've seen the evidence on OJ. Yeah, of course we think he did it. But doesn't matter. That jury said, no, you haven't convinced us. That's what protects us. That protects all of us. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Any person, they have to convince a jury of that. That literally protects us. It's not about OJ, it's about us. Because otherwise it's like, oh, well, I think he did it. Well, that's not the burden of proof. I think he did it. It's not the burden of proof. By the way, if they wouldn't have moved that trial, he would have been convicted. It was in Bel Air. They moved it downtown LA. There's been documentaries on this. They've admitted such. They moved it because of the media and the craziness. Bel Air courthouse was small. These are all the rich people, mostly white. They would have convicted him in a second. Yeah. They moved to LA where they got a lot of black people. And these people have seen the worst of racism and the shit the police have done to them. They don't trust police. And by the way, why would they? I won. Why would they trust him? They didn't trust him. And so he had a great defense team, and money does buy a great defense, and they won.
Fair enough. What about another rich guy, but a rich white guy, Alex Murdaugh? The just recent, where is he from? Down in South Carolina, North Carolina.
Good old boy.
He's a good old boy.
He's a good old boy. They had a whole town. They were like Digstown.
His kid was in a boat accident and probably killed one of his friends, and then he was charged with killing his son and his wife.
Do you have a specific question? Because that's fucking cray-cray. That's just fucking nuts. I got a glimpse of it on Netflix and I stopped because I do it for a living. I'm like, oh God. And then the real trial happened. I really wanted to focus on the prosecutor cross-examination of him because he took the stand. And God, he's a sociopath. He's either the most innocent or the most guilty person you've ever seen in your entire life. If I'm in Vegas, I'm putting all my money on guilty.
Okay, good enough.
You're a gambler.
He is guilty as fuck. I mean, this dude, but he's good. I couldn't believe the prosecutor gave him that much rope to talk. He just kept asking these open-ended questions and he allowed him to talk. But yeah, I don't know if he did or not, but I'm pretty sure he did it.
Great show.
OJ definitely did it. Yeah. OJ definitely did.
Alex Murdaugh, I'm guessing he did it. Alec Baldwin. So he's in a movie. He's got a gun. He shoots it at the camera and he hits the director and all sorts of things. Like, what's that about?
So I've done this 3 times in my life. I've killed 3 people accidentally with fake firearms on movie sets. I'm joking.
He has? Has he?
He just said
I
he
said
did.
I did.
I know. I was going to say, but I was like, I thought you were relating him back to Alec.
I was
Baldwin.
making a poor attempt at a joke because the premise is absurd. But I'm going to go a different way here. I feel bad for him. I'm an Alec Baldwin fan, but I also know he hates the Republicans, so he's a Democrat. So I've noticed that the Republicans pile on him on something like this. And I've seen this over and over again. It's like, who gives a shit what your political stripe is? The guy fucked up. He didn't know. And you know what? None of us are in that world. Yeah. There's a handler that handles the guns and they hand you the gun. No, he should be charged. This is bullshit. Now, do I think in a different world that maybe he should have looked at it himself? Maybe. I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Isn't that why you rely on these people? This sounds fucking crazy. Like, here's the gun, bang, bang, point, point. Like, why would a guy making millions of dollars, he was the producer of that movie, by the way. I think they have people that are supposed to do that.
Let's go to, have you seen The Staircase on Netflix? Did you see
Started it.
Yeah? You're
it's back to what I do for a living. Yeah.
Like,
it's hard
that's
to
a
get through
weird
that
one,
stuff.
isn't it?
It's hard to get through that stuff for me.
Yeah, that's a weird.
I do it for a living. If I didn't do this for a
Move on.
living, I'd be more interested in it.
Okay, this isn't maybe criminal, but Britney Spears and her dad. Do you think Britney Spears? Have you seen?
I know nothing
what she's doing
about
lately.
it.
Okay.
I only know this. I'll tell you what I know. I know this. I'll make it very quick. So she had a person, her dad, that took over her finances because she was, by the court, decreed to be incapable. And she may have been. And he may have had good intentions, because if she's making tens of millions of dollars and fucking some piece of white trash guy who's like drug addict, the dad's like, maybe I should kind of protect my daughter. I don't know if that's the situation, because I don't follow it. If that's the situation, I get it. But yeah, that's exhausted. Like at some point you're like, okay, she grew up. Now it's time for her to accept her own mistakes.
She's got to be 30 now, right?
No, but I think she's older than that. But yes,
But
you're right. At some
now
point,
you watch her on Instagram or whatever, you're like, you might need someone watching over you because.
But at some point, you have to live your life.
Well, yeah,
And you have to accept your own
Right.
consequences. I think there's often two things can be true at the same time.
Okay.
She can have an overbearing dad that's doing too much to protect her daughter. And early on, she could have, really needed that. And maybe his intentions were good. But the way the press does it, it's like the politics now. Everything's binary. You're pro, I don't fucking know anything about Britney Spears, by the way. But it's like binary choices. I know about binary choices because that's what the politicians do. That's what the media does. You're this or that. You're racist or you're not.
Yeah,
right?
right.
You're pro this or you're pro that. You're for this or you're against that.
No in between at all.
There's so much nuance
No middle.
and complexity in most of the great questions in life. I mean, these things take highly intelligent, educated people to figure out, let alone the rest of them.
Right. Oscar Pistorius. Do you see any of that? Do you know that guy, the Blade Runner, the guy that has the
Weird
fake
one,
blades?
yeah,
And he killed his girlfriend. And it's
one
just
of the
like,
strangest cases I followed that because I love sports and very interested. I love international stuff. And that was a weird one. I've never understood that one. That's one of those ones that, in America, we have a different system. I know this in South Africa. They don't have juries. They have a tribunal like a lot of countries do. They don't have juries. They don't have their peers. And their rules of evidence are different. And so, I mean, I really can't say much more than that. He either had a domestic and wanted to kill her and then made up this crazy story, or he literally woke up from not sober, some drug-addled alcohol dream. Here's something weird. Some of these people, I haven't been around any of these people in my personal life, and I'm not saying that I'm just normal human. My clients have. I've definitely represented some crazies. The way I understood it, again, I didn't watch any documentaries. I read a lot. I just read the news. I read a lot of stuff. I read a lot of things. So I incorporate what I read into my knowledge. I'm not like, I didn't watch any of this to Dateline NBC coming up next.
You think all that's BS? You think all that is just like...
Well, it's meant for hits and clicks and profit.
Yeah, right.
It is utter bullshit.
Even that's twisted.
It's not even that. It is twist.
Okay.
It is purely to get people to watch so they can make money. Mm-hmm. And no one's going, they're not pouring the money in your hand. It's just the way that they're, from every level down, they're taught, trained, is to make the money. They're not interested in the truth. Journalism, we'll get in journalism in a second if you want to talk about it, but back to the story, I'll wrap it up really fast. The way I understood it was he was in a really high crime area and had a crazy security thing around him, but people do crazy shit around there. And if he's drug-addled, alcoholic, and that doesn't excuse it, but if he wakes up paranoid and thinks someone's breaking in his house, I'm thinking about, I've represented a lot of clients that have done some weird shit, like jumped in swamps, hiding from, they think the aliens are getting them because they're on drugs. Like, if he wakes up and thinks there's a person came through the window in there and starts shooting, I don't know this. That's not a murder. That's still awful, and you should be punished, but that's not a murder. That's not a murder. That's like someone getting drunk and running someone over, which is horrible and bad, and we should obviously put them in prison too, but that's a different deal. That's not the intent. It's not evil, awful human that was like mad at his girlfriend and killed her. And the way the media and the courts treated him was like he literally was just like angry at her and murdered her. Like, that's the worst murder of all time. Like, he makes, what's the guy from South Carolina you just asked me about?
Murdaugh.
He makes Murdaugh look like a fucking, like, come on, man.
Yeah, right.
A genius.
Yeah, right.
That's how you're going to kill her? I'm in my own house, just going to start shooting her in the bathroom and call the police and say, yeah, there's an intruder.
Yeah, right.
It's the dumbest.
Good point. That intent action is good point.
Makes
Yep,
OJ look like fucking, I don't even know, Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's jump over. we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about one of our other favorite sponsors, and then
I can't wait.
And then we're gonna talk about Bobby Finn, the new Bobby Finn segment here. So I want to talk real quick about Unreal. So Unreal is a new sponsor for Pull Tab Sports. I've got an Unreal sweatshirt on. They make athletic clothing. They're an athletic brand. Big and tall from everyday athletes. You'll get that true fit you need every day, not just game day. And what's cool about Unreal is they're not VC backed. They started by an entrepreneur who just like started the clothing company because he had a dream. He wanted to be an athletic brand. They make great clothing. And they don't just want to be remembered for their clothing, but they want to be remembered for how they make a difference. And they do make a difference because that's why they donate 10% of their profits to organizations who make an impact in communities. So that's really cool about Unreal. I worked downtown. I saw a big Unreal billboard.
Awesome.
And Unreal is UNRL. I've seen it. They've sponsored sports teams. They make great clothes. Check out their website. And their website is unrl.co. So it's unreal.co, not .com, .co. That's even cooler. So go to unreal.co. And if you use the promo code PULLTAB15, you get 15% off your next order. So they've got cool golf clothes. They got cool like joggers, sweatshirts like I'm wearing. They're known for these these hoodies that got that little lip on them. They're pretty sweet. So unreal.co and use that promo code PULLTAB15 for 15% off your next order. All right, we got a new segment on Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, and this is
Snuggies.
I'm looking forward to snug. My dog's got a snuggie. I'm looking forward.
Full snuggie.
I'm looking forward to this new segment, and this is Bobby's bar review. So we're gonna go to a bar every week. Bobby's gonna give you his little his synopsis of it, tell you what he thinks of it. So Bobby, let's start with your bar review for the week. What do you want? Which bar you want to talk about?
Let's just go from where we just came from.
Okay.
Tiffany's on Ford Parkway in St. Paul.
Okay.
Tiff's it's an old school bar. The atmosphere is fantastic. A lot of the really cool people around there. The TVs are fantastic for watching games. No golden tea, which sucks.
Okay.
But overall, the service is great. Food is really great. Drinks are solid. She gave me a short. I always forget to ask for a tall.
Shorty or tall, that's a difference maker. Yeah.
I need to ask for talls all the time because I think you get a little more, even though they say you don't.
That's what they say. Like if you order a tall, they still give the same booze. They just fill it up with a little more mix.
But Tiff's is great. Tiff's is an absolute place, a destination place to go. Great ownership. Blake Monpettit owns it. Fantastic guy. It's a good place to go. There's not a ton of places around that area either. So go out of your way, go to Tiff's. I'd give it a 9.2.
Whoa, you're just going 9. Hold on, let's break this down a little, Bob.
9.2.
Okay, drinks out of 10. What do you think about their drinks?
Drinks are probably a 9.5 because she gives you a stiff drink.
They do make you give you stiff. I had a Red Bull vodka.
That was Jody, by the way. She's great.
Jody,
they're all fantastic.
So, what'd you have? What drinks did you have?
Well, I had vodka Red Bull,
Flaming Viking.
Then I had a couple Miller Lights and Jameson Ginger.
Okay, all right. I don't want to we might have to find you some protection tonight for getting out of here. Okay, so how about atmosphere?
Atmosphere is great. A lot of nice business people in there right after work. You get later at night, and now you got more of the local people. So it's very, very solid bar.
So what out of 10 atmosphere?
Atmosphere is probably a 9.
Okay, service. Jody, you say her name is Jody.
She's great.
Jody's the only one.
Give her a 5.
Jody's solid. Jody's solid.
Solid.
Yeah, she was very attentive. I give her an 8.5.
Okay, and then do they have food or no food?
Well, it had some food.
Okay, they have food as well.
I didn't have a lot of food. I just had some chips and guac, and it was great.
Is this a place you could take your wife? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
But you can't. Can you get away from the guys there? Get away from the women and hang with the guys?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Touch tunes. Yes or no?
I didn't see it, but I'm guessing they do.
Brian?
I don't know what that is.
Touch tunes? Yeah, you play music off your phone and plays the
that
tunes.
That sounds weird to me, but I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't own a van. It sounds fucking weird.
Golden tea? Yes or no?
Is that what we do around
tea.
Lake Nokomis or something?
Yeah, right. No golden tea. Maybe touch tunes. We're not sure.
I think they have touch.
They do have food. And then
highly advise no touch tunes.
No touch tunes.
Yeah, that
Okay.
could be criminal.
So Bobby's going the upper nines for Tiffany's.
No, lower nines.
Lower nines for
yeah.
Tiffany's. Okay.
Tips is a great spot. Great
Tips
spot.
is a hot spot. Okay, good to know. That's Bobby's bar review. That's Tiffany's. All right. What else you got, Bobby? What should we get into here?
I think we should get in some gambling.
All right. So sports gambling. You guys,
Sports-
are you guys going to bet on any Minnesota teams here in the playoffs?
Well, let's not even go to Minnesota teams, but obviously Brian likes to dabble in the sports gambling.
This is all true.
What's the hot tip? What's the hot tip?
I don't know if I would listen to his
I've
hot
been
tip
on a
right
really
now.
bad streak.
I think
so
it was
don't listen to me,
4 and
man.
19 in the last.
Yeah, 4-19 in the last 23 bets. I did get the Wild last night. Thank God. I stayed up to 1 a.m. It didn't really matter. I like the Wild, but yeah, it didn't really matter. When you lose that much, it doesn't really matter.
Just sweating it.
But
Okay.
yeah.
How about college football? Do you want any money on college football this?
Well, they don't start till September.
No, I mean last
Oh,
season.
I did well. Yeah.
Okay.
College football, I feel more confident. NBA playoffs, little NHL, but man, I'm telling you.
What's the hot tip? Like, what do you like for a guy like me who doesn't gamble? Like, what would you say? Like, this is where you're probably going to win your money, right?
Here's my tip. You will never, ever, ever win money gambling on sports, ever. And if you think you will, you're lying to yourself. You may as well be a drug addict or an alcoholic. You will never win. You gamble for pleasure. You gamble so you can talk to your friends about it. You gamble so you can jump off your sofa and high five your friends when you win a parlay, a 3-team parlay. You jump off, you high five, you're excited. You don't even give a shit for the day if you lost $500. You won a goddamn fucking parlay. That's all that matters. You win a parlay. You do it for fun. If you do it to make money, yeah, you're in the wrong path.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right on. I mean, you do it for fun. I don't.
If you're not gambling on sports, what are you gambling
But
on?
Vegas don't get bigger
Stock
and
market.
bigger and bigger and bigger
That's what I told my kid.
because people are winning.
Those
right?
hotels aren't made from people
right.
winning money.
I think you should be able to get like a plaque on every door, whatever door you stay in. If you lose $1,000, $10,000, whatever, 100, don't have that kind of dough, but you should be able to put your name on something.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Bobby Finn was here.
Bobby Finn helped build this building.
And what a great name, by the way, Bobby Finn. Did you watch Banshees of Inisherin? I love movies.
Yeah, that was up for the
Irish
Academy Award,
movie.
right?
What a great Irish name.
Yeah.
But you could just name a fucking movie Bobby Finn and it's going to be great. Seriously. And the guy that made that also made, did you ever see, oh God, it was in Belgium. In Bruges.
Oh, I've seen it in Bruges.
In Bruges is amazing.
Yep.
Same director, In Bruges. I mean, fuck. His next movie should just be called Bobby Finn.
I gotta see the.
I could write it right now. Give me another whiskey. I could write this fucking thing in 2 hours.
That's fantastic.
ChatGPT will write it for you.
Yeah.
We'll make Colin Farrell your character. He loves Colin Farrell and all of a sudden.
Was he in the last one? Was he in the Banshees?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in Banshees. He was in Bruges. And then he also loves Brendan Gleeson, who was in another great one. You guys got to watch this. If you haven't seen this, I don't know if you're Irish or not. You could be anything.
I got some Irish in me, yeah, for sure.
I mean, you
Italian
could
and
be
Irish.
fucking Norwegian for fuck's sake. These Minnesotans are all fucking Norwegians. This guy looks Irish. You're Irish, right?
All Irish.
Dude, you got to watch The Cavalry.
The Calvary, huh?
Yeah, same director from Banshees, same director from In Bruges. You got to watch The Cavalry.
I'm going to do that.
Oh my God, it's so fucking good. They're all, you got to fucking watch this shit.
The Cavalry.
I like
you
it.
heard it here first on Bobby Finn Knows Everyone.
Let's watch it. Movie reviews.
I dig it. All right. We also have another segment we want to talk about here, and this is what we call, and you're going to like this one, Brian. It's called our Don't Be a Dick moment of the week. And Bobby Finn Knows Everyone. We talk about be a good person, do good things, help your neighbor.
Help people.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
But there's times when there's people we see out there, we're like, that's a dick moment. That's a dick move, right?
It's too easy to do the right things.
So
It's hard to do the wrong
service, bartenders. We talked about good bars. Talked
Yeah.
about Tiff was high on your and the good service. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know what's going on. I was at a bar a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to call out the bar, but I'm standing at the end of the bar.
Cheesecake Factory.
We were at a birthday party, and
Olive Garden.
I ordered a couple drinks. She didn't put my wife's glass in a red wine glass. She put it in like a champagne flute. She just kept she didn't know how to make a Paloma. And this was a cocktail bar, like a crafted cocktail bar. She didn't know what a Paloma was. She didn't know how to make an old fashioned. And I was like, this is a crafted cocktail place. At the end of the night, she brings me my bill, and I'm going to put the receipt on our Instagram. It was $172 for me and my wife. And I looked at it and I said, what? And she's like, I don't know who was here. I don't know who you're with. You guys figure it out. I go, you guys, I'm not here with like 12 people with me. I was with myself and a friend and my wife. And I was like, I'm not figuring out $172. There was like 4 whiskeys that were $72 or it was $72, but it was $12 a piece. There was a $24 glass of bourbon. There was 2 like Reposado tequilas.
God, I'm getting thirsty.
And I was like,
say it slower. Can you just do a deeper voice and say it fucking slower, please? Just go back.
Reposado tequilas.
How many?
I was like, what's going on?
So all these people you didn't know are around.
She just gave me the bill for everybody. And I said, no, not happening. And I went to the other bartender. I go, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm not paying $172 for people I don't know. He goes, she's new. She doesn't know what she's doing. We had to pull her in because we couldn't find service tonight. So whatever you want to pay, just pay me. And I was like, oh,
Did
what?
you get bottle service at Cowboy Jack's in Bloomington?
Is that what you get for $172? What is going on with service industry, dude?
Oh, I could talk a lot about that.
Let's hear it.
There you go. Let's roll them up.
Let's hear it.
Well, I think that a couple things happen. There's a generation, the Gen Zs and millennials, something happened where people don't respect hard work anymore. I know they get mad at me when I say this, but like they don't. Like, do the work. There's no like, even the lower level people just work their fucking ass off to do something, to climb and climb and climb. And now it's like, whatever. They don't even look at you at the bar. When you try to get a drink, they're over here. You sit there like at some of the nicest restaurants and bars in the cities. You're like, what? You can't get their attention. They're like, what are they doing? And it's like this, looking at my phone, texting. I got to make drinks for the table. I'll get to you when I get to you. It's like a passive aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Like they're so excited to fuck someone over who's out trying to have a good time because they're not out trying to have a good time. The paradigm has shifted.
Yep.
It used to be where I grew up, the hospitality business was rich and lively and vibrant. Like people were like, they loved it. There was like an excitement. Like, well, can I get you this? You know, no offense to the girls, but the guys got laid that were in the business. And the girls did too, but you know, if they're hot, they can get laid. But it was like, you guys could do your editing.
There was pride in like helping people and doing good things.
absolutely.
I bartended for 8 years. I wanted people having fun.
You look around and you're like, what can I do to make you have a good, yes, absolutely.
Right. Now it's like, if I make eye contact with you, I might have to do work.
They're angry.
Yep.
They're almost like, why are you here? Why am I here? And you're like, I'm just trying to get a fucking drink, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even today, I met a friend at Longfellow Grill, which is a nice little spot I don't hang out at. I haven't been to in 12 years. They own Edina Grill, Highland Grill. I have a lady friend that works at Highland Grill. I love Highland Grill to death. But each restaurant is very different. Highland Grill is amazing. But I'm at Longfellow Grill. And the bartender's a nice guy, but he's just vacant. Like he's trying, but it's like, what?
He's not all there.
He's talking to one guy. I'm like, can I just get a glass of wine?
You can't put your blinders on when you're a bartender.
No.
You can talk to somebody, but you hear everything. And that's one of the key things about bartending, though. You adapt this keen sense of hearing. You can hear a whisper in a loud ass freaking joint. I mean, so if you can hear a glass go down on the table, or on the counter, you know they want a drink. So you can keep your conversation, keep it going, but freaking listen up.
As soon as I asked him if tip was included, which I know it wasn't, he came over and wanted to talk.
That's a great tip right there. Hey, by the way, is tip included?
No, but he wanted to engage.
Yeah.
Immediately versus vice versa. Like the way I grew up, I love going out. I love going to bars. I like eating at bars. I don't want to get a table. I want to eat at a bar with a lady friend, a beautiful woman, have a good time. I want someone in front of me like, what do you guys need? Like, I'll plug some people really quick. I'm not a plugger, but JD Hoyt's, man. JD Hoyt's. You go to Hoyt's. Hoyt's is great food, but like the service is like, you go to Hoyt's, it's like, you're just taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
All these people are like, no lack of eye contact. It is immediate at all times. What can I do for you at all times? These are pros. St. Paul Grill used to be that way. Now they're not even open on Sundays. They're all gone. I love Manny's Bar. I don't love their food. I don't love Murray's Bar, but I love their food.
Right?
Murray's food over Manny's food.
Murray's.
Okay.
Not even close.
Manny's Bar over Murray's
Manny's is so like, it's on steroids. Like if you order asparagus, you got like 2 people coming out with like these pulls of asparagus on their shoulders. Their salad is like a bowl that can feed a family of 25 and it's disgusting. It doesn't even taste good. They're like, more corporate card, more stuff. Everyone's like, yeah, I made it. Look at me. I'm at Manny's. It's gross. Murray's is for people that enjoy a good steak and good accoutrements and good size and good food. Manny's like, more, I got the card, I got it back here, it's on me.
That's so great. That's the truth too. You only bring
Corporate
customers.
Look at me, I'm in it.
Corporate card.
I got a hacksaw that fucking say, ah! They're not seasoned appropriately, by the way. None of their steaks are seasoned appropriately. The meat's beautiful. They're not seasoned appropriately. They're just not.
We need to do one
I could
more.
go on for
yeah.
3 straight
Cannon?
days.
Dude, hang on. We got a little Duke Cannon. Duke Cannon products. Playoff beard season. Here's the deal, though. Duke Cannon, I do use Duke Cannon. I use the Serious Flow with the main tamer. Holy crap. I mean, my wife loves it. I get a lot of compliments from other people.
Nice.
But, you know, they got other products, too.
Nobody ever said that.
They got other products, too. They got, you know, they got the shampoo and they got the body wash, the thick body wash.
What comes in pucks?
The pucks, the Serious Flow.
Serious Flow comes
Serious
in pucks.
Flow comes in pucks. It's fantastic. I mean, but it's a great product, a great company, local company. I mean, they're doing great things. You know, you can get it at Target or DukeCannon.com. You know,
Right now, as well, you shop at DukeCannon.com and you use the code BEARD10. You get 10% off your next order
Playoff beards.
for your playoff beards. Let's go, baby. You got to get them chops. You got to get that mustache rocking like Middleton.
Love his stash.
So good.
Can I add this?
Hold on. Work harder, smell better with Duke Cannon. Get it.
Get it?
Playoffs. You're a sports guy. Wild going to win the first playoff round?
You know, I'm a sucker. I think finally this is their year, but I'm a sucker.
I'm a sucker too.
I've
I
looked
thought
at
the
them,
Gophers were gonna win.
in preparation for tonight, because I love sports, man. And I like NBA more than NHL. I love them both, but I'm more into McDavid than the Wild. Like, I'm more into Edmonton than the Wild. Like, the Wild have disappointed me for so long. Like, okay, you're going to start the first round. You're down 0-2. We're out. I'm tired. Same with the Vikings. Same with the fucking Twins. The only reason I was excited about the Timberwolves this year is because they haven't been in anything for fucking years. So I was like, wow, we got a new entree. But no, I'm excited about the Wolves. I think the goalie, I think the key is always the goalie. I mean, Gustafson looks fucking amazing.
He did look good
He looked
last
great.
And
night.
if you get a hot goalie
Yep.
and the
Take it.
playoffs start and you get a hot goalie, you can win the whole
So you
thing.
think the Wild go further than the Wolves?
Yes.
All
Really?
right.
So okay. So get back to that. I mean, obviously we're wrapping up, but you're a basketball fan. Go Bear trade.
I still like it.
I love it. I'm telling you,
All the nerd heads hate it. The NBA, I love Bill Simmons. Like I listen to Bill Simmons like religiously. Literally, he's like my brother I've never met before. And he hates it. And I understand why he hates it, but I think he's definitely doesn't understand it. We got a shot.
I think he adds a like just a part of the game that we've never had. A pure center that he doesn't give a shit if he scores. He doesn't care. I mean, he's not the Joker, but he's close. I think he does.
Well, let's not say that. He's not close to
I think
Jokic.
he's close.
No, Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
Oh, I agree. But as far as centers goes, Joker's the best, right?
Embiid's unbelievable. There's some good players.
For sure. But hey, thanks, Brian, for coming out. Thanks for being on. This is fantastic. Tommy, great one. Thomas, I don't know if you've ever laughed harder. This is fantastic.
We
but
all look to the right
hey,
to watch Thomas
it's
laugh.
like we always say, do the right things, be a good person. This is what we all grew up on. We were taught how to just help each other out, be a good person. And most of all, it's pretty simple. If everybody went through life, just don't be a dick.
That's yesterday.